Hey, Jamie here. So here's a quick little video to give you a tip on how to get more out of lovable.dev, and in specific, how to get more out of your messages that you have in lovable.dev. Now, if you don't know what lovable.dev is, it's an AI engineer. So you put in a prompt, like you can see here, it's giving some ideas for prompts, and you can build things like here's an idea my 7-year-old daughter, Molly Rose, came up with a whack-a-mole, which is basically whack a skunk instead of whack a mole. So, okay, basically just ask for what I just said, whack a mole with skunks. And it built this. You can see how this could be very fun, and you can also see how it could be very useful. So, for example, um, I've also got some other projects that I'm building in here at the moment, along with other things that I've used as well, like v0.dev and Claude and stuff like this. But this one is really, really good. I find the integrations to be incredible, and they've got seriously cool vision in lovable.dev. Now, one thing, as I mentioned, that I was going to give you a tip for how to get more out of your messages is, well, first off, know your limits. So if you're using it for free, then you get 5 messages a day. Now, why is that important? Because every message you sent to this is, a prompt, and the prompt is what is given to build what you want. So the less prompts you have, the less value you can get out of this platform. And you can see I've only got 100 left. Now, I've 0 out of my daily. And why have I got 100? I'm on the paid plan called Starter, $20 a month. So here's where you can see in their docs what you get, docs.lovable.dev. Here's a guy's messaging limits. And, if you've got 5 a day and 100 a month for $20, that's a max of 250. So I'm fast burning through my monthly setup. I think I've used up most of it, like 60 something of them in a matter of less than a week. So hopefully this tip will help me, as it will hopefully help you as well. Now, from working with not just this AI engineer, but engineers in real life, is what gave me this particular tip. Because you'll notice when you ask for a feature or some kind of new functionality, that has impacts to the application you've built and the complexity of it, and it has impacts in other parts of the code base. So to give you an example, especially if you give lots of requests at once. So here's one where I gave 4 requests at once. If you're looking at the chat on the left-hand side, this is just a bit of a jokey matrix app I made. And after it did the implementation, it suggested, oh, actually, now we're going to need to refactor this. And it gives you the reason why and all this. Yeah. And just by the way, if you work in digital products and your dev team, your engineers say to you, we need to do this, just do it. Sometimes it doesn't seem to be that you're going to get something out of it. It seems to be just as a knock-on effect. A refactoring is just, okay, maybe we've lost some efficiency, or we're missing an opportunity for efficiency in the code base, or some people just class this as technical debt. And just do it. Otherwise, your app will likely pay for it in the long run. So keeping on top of this stuff pays dividends. But what I found was every time I clicked yes to one of these suggestions, it was using up one of my prompts. And sometimes it would even suggest 2 in a row. So as you can see here, it suggested a second one. Sometimes it'll even suggest those together, but you can only click one at a time. That's kind of annoying. Now, perhaps as Lovable becomes more agentic, which it sounds as though that is part of the vision for the product, maybe it'll solve for that. But at the moment, it's using up my credits. So how have I worked around this? So I had another request which had like 5 different things in it, and I put it out there to read this back to me. So it did read them back to me. You can see it's giving me back my plan. Now, after that, I said, what about any anticipated cause for refactoring? Well, if there is anything like that, then redo the plan and have those things in there, and just deal with it. Instead of giving me a preview and then mentioning it, just deal with it. So I'm trying to almost train it to be agentic for me in this thread, or at least for this particular request. Lo and behold, it worked. First, it read back to me the plan a second time, but with the components that it thought might need to be refactored, and the reasons behind that, anticipating that based on the changes in the request that I've given, which, as you could see, were multiple. I wanted it to store the user's name, but then there was a flow after that. There was multiple things. Now, and as I scroll right down to the bottom here of after that, you can see there was no suggestions after it implemented. I clicked implement. There was no ask for it to do any refactoring. Now I'd have to try this again and again to see, does this work every time? But I'm very happy to report that in this case, for my nerdy little app here, which is basically, you've got the hotkey of two dashes and then enter your name, and it opens up this dialogue. It's totally nerdy. Anyway, I didn't have to do any refactoring, and it was a little test of that prompt. I hope that helps any of you out there who want to try and build with lovable.dev and don't want to use up your credits on refactoring, which just never really feels like you're getting value for money. So happy building.